Hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. Today, me and Mr. Zig are going to be talking over, no one is above the law. You hear that expression all of the time from all these career politicians. No one is above the law. Well, we're going to show you a few people that are above the law. Talk about a few people that are above the law, still above the law. So, Mr. Zig, how the heck are you?
Doing good, Thomas. How you doing this morning?
I am doing fantastic and ready to get this show on the road.
Right.
Have you seen this judge that is above the law? That Judge Shapiro is going to be talking about. Have you heard about this? Where a judge blocked a judge has blocked the government from investigating Jerome Powell of why it has taken him over $1 billion more to remodel the Federal Reserve building.
And the judge has blocked that?
So the judge, Jeanine Pirro, wants to go in and they're going to investigate this. Why is this over budget? $1 billion. Why is it over budget? So a judge has stopped them from doing this because Jerome Powell says they're picking on me, basically. We'll go through the video here and listen to it, and then we'll make some comments afterwards.
The American public is fed up with public monies that seem to go into a black hole, especially in D.C., where no one is held accountable. One of the age-old tools that all prosecutors have to investigate any crime, including cost overruns, is a grand jury subpoena. Today, however, in Washington, an activist judge has taken that tool away from us by inserting himself and preventing the grand jury from even obtaining, let alone hearing, evidence. He has neutered the grand jury's ability to investigate crime. As a result, Jerome Powell today is now bathed in immunity, preventing my office from investigating the Federal Reserve. This is wrong, and it is without legal authority. In June of 2025, Jerome Powell testified before the Senate Banking Committee, making, quote, questionable statements that did not comport with publicly available documents. And it was regarding the atrocious cost overrun of more than $1 billion. I didn't say million, I said billion, in renovations to his headquarters. This from the man who says that he is the steward of our public funds. In November, the United States Attorney's Office began an inquiry. Prosecutors from my office gathered information for months before we served 2 grand jury subpoenas. On December 19th, we sent an email to the Federal Reserve to have a conversation, a meeting, or even a phone call to discuss our concerns. There was no response. On December 29th, we sent an email to have a conversation, a meeting, or even a phone call to discuss our concerns. Again, we were ignored. We, in fact, asked to meet the first week in January. We were ignored. It was at that point that 2 grand jury subpoenas were issued to the Federal Reserve, not even to Jerome Powell. Again, no response, no compliance, but instead a woe is me video by Mr. Powell falsely claiming that he was being threatened with criminal indictment. And claiming victim status, Powell proceeds to call his political friends in D.C. and around the world to gin up support for himself, all the while refusing to produce simple documents. Now enter local District Court Judge James Boasberg, whose written decision on its face makes clear his antipathy toward President Trump and this administration. He quashes both subpoenas, thereby prohibiting us from reviewing any records and precluding us from submitting records to the grand jury. That grand jury, of course, comprised of ordinary people. Ladies and gentlemen, no one is above the law. But for the first time, a judge is ruling that a grand jury subpoena, on its face legal in all regards, can be ignored because a judge thinks the subject is beyond reproach. This is a decision that is untethered to the law. It creates chaos where any defendant who wishes to evade an investigation, guilty or not, can allege I'm a victim, I'm being targeted, and therefore you cannot investigate me. And if you find the right judge, you'll buy it. This is the antithesis of American justice. Exonerating anyone without any records, without an investigation or question, is not how our criminal justice system works. This judge has put himself at the entrance door to the grand jury, slamming that door shut, irrespective of the legal process, and thus preventing the grand jury from doing the work that it does. So what is the law? What is the law? According to the United States Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, certainly higher than the court that Boasberg is on, a grand jury, every grand jury, has broad discretion to, quote, investigate merely on suspicion that the law is being violated, merely on suspicion the law is being violated, or because it wants assurance that the law is not being violated. In fact, the court says a grand jury may act on tips and rumors. Right here are the cases and the citations from the highest court in the land. And yet this judge is shockingly requiring the government to show something akin to probable cause, and those are his words, probable cause, in order to justify the issuance of a grand jury subpoena. Folks, probable cause is not and never has been the standard that prosecutors in this country need in order to go into a grand jury. This is not and has never been the law of the land. And so this decision today by Judge Boasberg runs directly afoul of our highest court's admonition that courts and judges must not and cannot saddle grand juries with mini trials and preliminary showings that impede a prosecutor's investigation and thus frustrate the public's interest in the fair and expeditious administration of justice. No one, folks, is above the law. And this outrageous decision will be appealed by the United States Department of Justice.
So,
We want to. This is breaking news, and we want to bring your.
shut the hell up. So, Boasberg, wasn't he in something else? What did he stop something else. Why does that name sound familiar? Boasberg. Why is that?
Not sure. I don't remember hearing his name, but
Of course, she said he was a DC judge.
yeah, yes.
Right.
No, I'm here to
So, but yeah, he. It seems like what she went over there. Some of the things that she went over, you do have to wonder why is he inserting himself? I mean, so from my understanding is that they're remodeling the reserve the Federal Reserve building.
Mm-hmm.
So you go through the process of okay, we're going to get bids.
Sure.
Okay, so you won the bid. You said that you can remodel the Federal Reserve building. Say $900 million. Okay, so you win the bid. Okay, so afterward, okay, so wait a minute. You're sitting at $1.9 billion. So you've spent over $1 billion more than what you said. We would like to know what the hell is going on. What? Show us. She said that they asked, never replied. Just basically, I am above the law. I can do what I want to. You have no say in this. And at the end of the day, Powell might be right. They may have no say in it. Who knows?
Well, if you find a judge, you want to block it.
Yeah.
Your investigation.
Yeah. And then for him, Boasberg, I know that name sounds familiar for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But he comes along, he says, no, you cannot subpoena him or go grand jury to find out what the hell is going on. Why they're $1 billion over budget. You cannot do that. Now imagine if you were out in the public, and say the big company asks you to remodel a building for them, and you say, yeah, I can do that in $900 million. And you come back and wait a minute, you've done spent $1.9 billion? What the hell?
Where'd the other billion go?
Yes, what are you doing?
Well, you can't question me on that.
Well, yeah, my lawyer will be in touch, mister. Stop this shit. There's no sense in you asking me why. And here's another thing, if I can get to it. Here's the other thing. And I don't know why I don't stop these when this, I've got to start doing that.
at the entrance door to the grand jury, slamming that door shut, irrespective of the legal process, and thus preventing the grand jury from doing the work that it does. So what is the law? What is the
If I
law?
can find it now. She said something.
This is the antithesis of American justice. Exonerating anyone without any records, without an investigation or question is not how our criminal justice
Due process, I think, is what she said.
Mm-hmm.
That he squashed that without with the government not having or due process. I thought that's what she
system
said.
works.
I got to.
This
Mm-hmm.
investigation, guilty or not, can allege I'm a victim, I'm being targeted, and therefore you cannot investigate me. And if you find the right judge, he'll buy it. This is the antithesis of American justice. Exonerating anyone without any records, without an investigation or question is not how our criminal justice system works. This judge has put himself at the entrance door to the grand jury, slamming that door shut, irrespective of the legal process, and thus preventing the grand jury from doing the work that it does. So what is the law? What is the law? According to the United States Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, certainly higher than the court that Boasberg is on, a grand jury, every grand jury, has broad discretion to, quote, investigate merely on suspicion that the law is being violated.
Okay, so right there they have suspicion. Why is you give us a $900 billion bid and it's already 1.9 billion?
Sure, they just
Why-
want to ask questions and say,
Yeah.
where'd the money go? Where's the extra billion?
Why are you spending this money?
And if you can justify where you spend it,
Right.
what's the problem?
Yeah, show us. Show us.
Show us, yeah.
Because you know that you've done seen how corruption works in that town. And then the next thing you know, hey, wait a minute. How did Jerome Powell become a billionaire? How'd he leave? He's a billionaire. But
Merely on suspicion the law is being violated, or because it wants assurance that the law is not being violated.
What?
In fact, the court says a grand jury may act on tips and rumors. Right here are the cases and the citations from the highest court in the land. And yet this judge is shockingly requiring the government to show something akin to probable cause. And those
so right there, probable cause. So, okay, you can show that. I got probable cause. $900 billion or $900 million estimate. It's already over $1 billion. Right there's probable cause. Why would he stop that? How could he stop that? They got probable cause.
Yeah, why would he stop that?
Why? Yeah, that's a good dude up in New York City doing all of the goofy shit with I don't remember what judge that was. Remember him laughing it up when but I don't know. That name for some reason sounds familiar. But right there, not only as of right now, Jerome Powell's about done, isn't he? I think at the end of March, his term as chair is
At
done.
the end of this month?
I think so.
Really?
I think so.
Then what, does Trump appoint a new?
He's already appointed another guy.
Has he? Okay.
Yeah. But there
We still got to
again,
question this, though.
well, yes. Yeah, where in the hell did extra $1 billion go?
Well, if you're going out the door, an extra billion is not a bad deal.
No. No.
If you can slide it under the door.
Right. And of course, it goes to show the American people, you got another guy, Jerome Powell. Hey, I'm above the
Above
law.
the law. Judge said so.
I'm
Don't touch
judge.
me.
Yep.
Don't question
Yep.
me.
You're just coming after me because Trump hates me and wanted to fire me. And as it turns out, he should have. Yeah, he should have fired him. But that's that's crazy. I just don't get that. But there again, like I said, it is somebody else who, as it turns out, is above the law. They're above the law. So, and you can't deny that he's above the law. So, and with that, here's a few others that cases that was brought up over the time, and let's look. Here's a guy. Here's definitely a guy. Here's a guy that was above the law. And none of them, not Joe Biden, Mayorkas, Garland, none of them None of them have had anything. Have you heard anything come from Pam Bondi's office saying we're indicting Mayorkas for false information about the border being closed, violating the Constitution as far as immigration laws go? Haven't heard nothing.
Nope.
Nothing. So here you go. Here's a good prime example. Listen, you want to hear somebody blow some smoke up your ass? Listen to this old fella.
On a trip down here, he said just left the border processing facility, hundreds of kids.
Start this over.
Joining me now is the Secretary of Homeland
You're gonna
Security,
like this here in the
Alejandro
beginning.
Mayorkas. Good morning, Mr. Secretary. I want to start right there. We heard the sheriff say it, the governor say it, and the migrants I spoke to say it. They are coming across because they believe they will be welcomed under the Biden administration. You said yourself 3 weeks ago, we're not saying don't come, we're saying don't come now. President Biden had a stronger message later, but the messages are mixed at best, Mr. Secretary.
Martha, good morning. The message is quite clear. Do not come. The border is closed. The border is secure.
So right there,
Sorry.
right there. So this
He said it with a straight face.
and he said it with a straight face. So right here, you're saying now this was in 2021,
Oh, this was 21?
2021, maybe 2022, early, and the border is closed. It's secure. And they allowed over the, I mean, they're still reeling from the numbers. You know, you still haven't got a specific number.
They don't really know.
No, they're looking at 15 to 20 million people. And this asshole sits there and says that the border is closed and it's secure.
We saw the video. Come on.
Right there,
They
right
were
there.
walking through fences
He should be
every day.
He should be put in jail for fucking 10 years just for that damn lie.
We are expelling families. We are expelling single adults under the CDC's authority, under Title 42 of the United States Code, because we are in the midst of a pandemic, and that is a public health imperative. We are encouraging children not to come. Now is not the time to come. Do not come. The journey is dangerous. We are building safe, orderly, and humane ways to address the needs of vulnerable children. Do not come.
I know you're trying to get that
And with a
message
smile.
out now, but your team was also
Telling
briefed.
children, do not come. We are building better means to get you here and then have that shitty smile on his face. You know, he know I'm going to smoke up my ass. Why? Because I am above the law. There's no one going to do anything to me. I'm above the law. So let me just sit here and blow smoke up everybody's ass.
By career professionals at DHS during the transition about the possibility of this crisis. You yourself say we are on pace to have one of the largest migrant surges in 20 years. Why were you not prepared for this?
Martha, let me be clear. We have seen large numbers of migration in the past. We know how to address it. We have a plan. We are executing on our plan.
And that plan is to let them come on across. No matter how they get here, we're going to say it's closed, but our plan is to let them come on across. Come on across. If you can get here, you're good.
And we will succeed. This is
And they did succeed. I will give him that. They did succeed. Yes. Yeah. Good job, Marcus. You
what
did
we
succeed.
do. But one thing is also clear, that it takes time. And why does it take time now? Why is it especially?
Why does it take time? Let's talk about the time that it takes to have a new president in and say borders closed. And guess what? The border's closed. So how much time do you need? Right there. I'm above the law.
Challenging and difficult now because the entire system under United States law that has been in place throughout administrations of both parties was dismantled in its entirety by the Trump administration. So we are rebuilding the system as we address.
So here is a man in his first term had immigration down, had it down. I mean, there wasn't nothing like it is in his second term, but he had immigration down. Now, this asshole's going to sit here and tell us that he had destroyed that. And now they are building on stopping immigration while millions and millions and millions of people cross the damn border. But we're stopping it. We have to fix it because Donald Trump broke it in his first term. So we are stopping immigration. Jesus Christ, Mr. Zig, just think if they had just said, come on, come on. You're all welcome. Come on. How many fucking millions of people you think if he's stopping it?
Well, first off, they just couldn't get here fast enough. That was part of the problem. But they should run a split screen. They really should on these shows.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they got more.
More.
What the hell's his name?
Mayorkas.
Mayorkas. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Mayorkas. Put him on the right hand side. Then the left side, they should have a live shot of the border.
Yeah.
And they're just coming across and go, the border is secure. It is closed.
Secure. It's closed.
And,
It's secure.
And just tell him,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? Look at the screen. What are you doing? Which border are you talking about? Canada? Shit,
Yeah.
yeah, I've been to Canada. You can't get across. You try to get across without proper papers, you're going to get shot at the border.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't mess around up there. Well,
No.
maybe out in rural Canada, you can probably sneak across there, Manitoba or something. But
And the Democratic people who vote for Democrats, they just eat
they
this
believe
up.
this.
They
How do you
believe this.
believe that when you
They
see
believe
it
it.
firsthand on TV?
Yeah.
That wasn't AI back then.
No.
Running, and they were, what's his name? There was a guy from Fox, I think, was out there, and he knows several languages. He was asking them in different languages, where are you from? Where are you from? Nicaragua, Colombia, Venezuela, and they're just like, how do you get on national TV
And say
They just
that
lie.
the border is
It's
closed and
Yeah, it's
secure.
secure, and we've got.
And the reason
Things
why
that-
it's broke is because of the last administration.
And this was what 21.
21 or 22.
Well, same. Here we are, 26.
Yeah.
With everything that was broken is Trump's fault.
was Trump's fault.
It was back his fault back then the first time.
Right.
So
And so they tried to stop people from coming through. They told people, stop, don't come. Especially little children. We stressed a lot on the little children not making this journey because it is dangerous. But we are fixing them up some places, but don't come. It's, the border is closed. It's secure. So don't come. And then turn right around. And then they just didn't listen. Mayorkas, they just didn't listen to you at all. They came and they came and they came in Grove, and they just came and came and came. I mean, millions and millions and millions that just didn't flat understand, don't come. Maybe you should have said it in their language. Maybe they would have understood it and not come.
I know.
But it's funny how a don't come and everybody's just flooding the border. And yet it was Trump's fault. It was the last administration's fault that this.
they're coming over now.
Yeah. That the law that we have in place, and it's simple. If both sides would just follow the law that is on the books, then this shit wouldn't happen.
We do have laws. They should have had people from like El Paso, locals, El Paso, Laredo down there.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what's really going on here at the border?
Right,
And they're going to give you the truth because they live there, and
Exactly.
They had complaints of people tromping on their property,
Coming on their
across.
property, sleeping on their property,
Yes,
and
this is
stealing crap off of their property. And yeah, I mean, it's
and I'm afraid when Trump's out, and maybe the Democrats do get back in, we may go right back to this.
oh, it's going to be the same
We may
thing.
just open the border back up.
Because why? Why will it do the same thing? Because they are above the law. They are above the law. They know they're not coming after me.
We got laws in this land that nobody wants to follow.
No,
It's just kind of amazing.
not until it's appropriate for them to want you to
Sure.
follow.
And if you come after me, I'll find a
Right.
judge to Get you off my
Yes.
ass.
And a good one here is I mean, we've had enough of this line. And one of the things that you can explain that you know about being above the law, you know, you had 51 directors, former directors of FBI, of CIA, all these people sat right there and lied. Remember that when they lied about Hunter's lab?
Yeah.
Lied about that, signed their names and everything. Has any of them had anything done to them?
Mhm.
Nothing. No Pam Bondi saying. Now Comey got something. I don't remember what his was, what they went after him for. But a judge there again says, yes, Jim Comey is above the law. Stopping this. Boom. It's cut and dry. So Jim Comey is not being prosecuted. So you had 51 guys who knew that they were lying about the Hunter Biden, and nothing is done to them. But if you even thought, if you and I sitting here in this studio would have said anything back on January 6th of 2020 about going there, we'd have had, what was that? Oh, that's the FBI.
FBI's
What's
here.
the FBI doing here?
Oh, we have you on
yeah.
film, Thomas.
Yeah,
At the
yeah.
Capitol
You
that
said
day.
something about wanting to go to the Capitol on January 6th. Yeah, what was your intention? Why were you wanting to go? Who do you know? You know, we had a knock on the door saying that, you know, well, you can't, you know. So there, all of those January 6th people, some of them, yeah, you're right. Some of them broke the law. But look at the countless number of them that was just there. That might have been at the Capitol, up by the Capitol, and said, "No, I'm not going in." You were there. You were guilty. They went after you, and by God, you had. So there's Garland. You know, he's above the law. I'm going to prosecute everybody that was even there, even thought about being there on January 6th. Why? Because they're not going to investigate me of why I investigated everybody. Christopher Wray, FBI director.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you still to this day, they still have questioned, was that Ray Epps a man walking around telling people to break windows, to knock down the barriers, break down the doors to get in? Above the law. And why wasn't he arrested like everybody else? You know, why wasn't he? Why was he the odd man out that no one wanted to touch, and they wasn't? And I think they finally got him, but then they ended up just letting him go. I mean, so he was above the law. You know, I mean, there's so many people that was above the law, and they. It's just nuts that we as a society sit back and we listen to this crap of. So here, let's listen to.
Epoch Times produced a documentary called The Truth About January 6th. It's available on our website. It exposes the many myths and lies about that day, one of which is that 5 police officers were killed at the Capitol on January 6th.
We are gathered here to honor their memory and acknowledge with deep gratitude the tremendous bravery of the hundreds of officers who defended us at this citadel of democracy that fateful day. As a result of the events on January 6th, the lives of 5 heroic officers were lost.
These people and the people representing those who couldn't be here because they gave their lives for this is incredibly consequential. And that's not political talk, that's historical fact.
Officer Sicknick died after being hit in the head with a fire extinguisher.
Sicknick died after being hit in the head with a fire extinguisher. Officer Brian Sicknick died after being hit in the head with a fire extinguisher during the hours-long attack.
They beat a Capitol police officer to death with a fire extinguisher.
Officer Brian Sicknick died after being hit in the head with a fire extinguisher during the fight.
He died at the age of 42 after he was bludgeoned with a fire extinguisher.
One slight problem: none of that you just heard is true. None of it.
Of course, violence on January 6th was not limited to just fighting and riot control. In the aftermath of January 6th, 4 police officers who were present that day committed suicide. Yet there were also people who died that day. After the incidents on January 6th, one of the first stories that a lot of the media were reporting was this Officer Sicknick, they reported, had been beaten to death by protesters using, I believe, a fire extinguisher. What was the real story with Officer Sicknick?
Well, the real story is his death was ruled by the medical examiner as from natural causes, that he had a stroke. And there was no fire extinguisher thrown at his head. But we continue to hear this used even in prosecutions, and our own president over this recent weekend at a commencement said the rioters killed 2 police on January 6th.
They're saying 2 police now. Who's the other police officer?
We'd have to ask him. But these things just keep being repeated. We've even seen this brought up in court hearings, and a couple times we've had defense attorneys speak up and say, whoa, wait a minute, that's not true. 4 people died January 6th. They were all Trump supporters. Officer Sicknick died the next day, and his case was not a result of being struck with any object.
So just to review then, 5 deaths total from January 6th. Officer Sicknick appeared to die afterwards from health complications. We know Ashley Babbitt was shot and killed. Roseanne Boyland appeared to have died during the incident, although it was ruled as amphetamines. And then 2 individuals who had heart attacks or strokes. It appears that it was triggered very likely by munitions that officers had used against them.
It certainly could have been. I mean, they were close enough that would be a concern.
So, no, 5 officers were not killed that day. That is a lie. Are the 270 sudden cardiac deaths in U.S. athletes after vaccination, according to a peer-reviewed study? Here's what Dr. Peter McCullough said about this.
24 in men.
Okay. So
how'd that story get started?
I had
the fire extinguisher.
I remember
I
that.
had heard that story.
I had
heard it too,
Yeah.
but I don't know where that came from.
A lot of that was here again, people above the law, was the January 6th committee. Lie after lie after lie after lie that was said on that committee. Not only that, but then after getting done and showing that the American people that this was a sham to begin with, then they ended up destroying all of the evidence. All of the evidence. All they were after was, what did Trump do? How is this Trump's fault? What did you hear Trump say? Did you hear Trump said right on the cameras, go peacefully? This January 6th committee, fuck that. We don't want nothing to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to hear that. We're not going to hear that. That's false. And then just come up with their own stuff. So a lot of that was done. I mean, I do remember them saying that he got hit with the fire extinguisher, and that's what caused his death. Well, then you find out, no, it wasn't.
So there was no fire extinguisher involved at all.
No.
Wow. Well, it just tells you how stories.
Right.
Believe what you want.
Exactly.
I don't know what the truth is. You just go by what some people say.
Yes.
We're not there. You like to think they're reporting the truth. You'd like to think that.
Yeah, and being honest
and
about it.
I didn't know there was 5. I thought 2 at the most. I didn't know where they came up with the 3 others.
Well, I knew Babbitt. Babbitt died.
Is that the woman who got shot?
Yeah, she was the one that got shot.
I remember that.
Yes. I don't remember the other 4 or 5.
I don't remember how that happened.
She was coming over the barricade that the police and the cop was sitting there, and knowing that there was no gun, and there again, another guy above the law. Nothing ever came of him. Why he shot her, the police officer. No, you know, why did you feel threatened by a 120-pound woman cut with no gun, nothing? Yeah, and him big old boy like he was, and yet she was the only one shot. The other thing that they don't bring up, you know, when they talk about how the January 6th committee and the Democrats want to say that this was a riot on the Capitol, and yet none of the rioters had guns. None of the rioters had any
They broke
guns.
windows. Okay, that's not bad enough. And then they just went walking through the Capitol. Some sat at the tables. I mean,
Some
pictures.
and some were escorted by police.
I don't believe there was.
That never came up in the January 6th committee.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of physical destruction in the Capitol that I
No,
can
it's just
remember.
the breaking
I'm
of the door. Not sure there are people that should have been prosecuted and on real crimes, but to go after somebody because they were there and did nothing.
Well, Tom, if I'd been in Washington that day, I probably would have went
If
down
you
there
would
to
have
see
been
what the hell was
anywhere
going on.
near there,
Yeah,
yes.
just say what the hell's going on down here. And
If you would have been anywhere near there, yes, you would have. You would have been you got called. Wow. You got a call, and then more than likely, like some of the people that there's took to prison, to jail, waiting and just letting it linger, and you're in jail, and now you got to get a lawyer to help protect your rights for just because you were there at the bottom of the stairs or on the lawn of the Capitol when all of this took place. Think about that. Think about that for a minute. Just because you were there on the lawn at the Capitol, you had to get a lawyer, you were arrested, all this crazy shit was going on. And right here is one about
Director Ray, does it
about the EP, which I don't know if he mentions this, but you can we'll take a look here.
Does the FBI have confidential human sources? Did the FBI have confidential human sources embedded within the January 6th protesters on January 6th of 2021?
Well, Congressman, as I'm sure you can appreciate, I have to be very careful about what I can say about when
Even now, because that's what you told us 2
May I
years
finish?
ago.
May I finish? About when we do and do not, and where we have and have not used confidential human sources. But to the extent that there's a suggestion, for example, that the FBI's confidential human sources or FBI employees in some way instigated or orchestrated January 6th, that's categorically false.
Did you have confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters inside the Capitol on January the 6th prior to the doors being open?
Again, I had to be very careful.
It should be a no. Can you not tell the American people, no, we did not have confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters positioned inside the Capitol on
Gentleman's
January
time
the 6th?
has expired. You should not read anything into my decision not to share information
Director
about
Ray,
confidential human
gentleman's time has expired.
So right there, I mean, the Ray Ep thing still keeps coming up, and why, in the beginning, especially in the beginning, why wasn't he arrested for creating a riot?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a riot, was it, Tom?
Oh yeah, well that was. Yeah, that the Democrats tell you, oh yes, that was a riot. That was a riot. Yeah, it wasn't nothing peaceful. Wasn't no peaceful protest on that. Not like up in Wisconsin or anything.
Wisconsin, Minnesota, Minneapolis.
Yeah. Now those are peaceful. with a reporter sitting there. It's mostly peaceful protest. The fucking building behind him burning.
I think it was a Wendy's or something. It was burning down.
Jesus Christ, there. I'd hate to see what a fucking riot looks like if that's peaceful. Yeah.
I think it's a Simpsons episode.
Yeah.
It's like, there's nothing to see here.
Yeah.
It's just, wow.
Shit.
I don't know who to believe.
I tell
when
you.
they get on these
I tell you.
committees, with all these, when they bring them forward and talk to them, I don't know if they're just blatant liars or they skirt the truth like,
Yes.
Yeah, well, I can't really say that we have informants inside dressed as,
as Trump supporters, and agging it on. Hey, let's go do this. Yeah, we can't say. And like he said, you would think no. No. Hell no, we didn't have anybody there. But he can't do that.
So obviously,
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
To me.
So, but there again, Ray, he's like, I don't want to be above the law and them come after me. Because they'll, if somebody will come forward and say, yes, I was an FBI agent. I was there on January 6th. Yes, I was told to go and do this and this. So Ray, Christopher Ray says, okay, I'm basically pleading the fifth. But yeah, that's, I don't know. I just guess the American people know this. You got some that will turn the blind eye. A lot of the Democrat people will turn the blind eye on their people breaking the law and above the law. They'll be, oh yeah. But turn right around and let Trump supporter do the same thing that what their guy did, and oh my God, the world's coming to an end, and they think they're above the law, and they shouldn't be, and they should be prosecuted, and but that's a Democrat for you. That's a Democrat way of thinking anymore. And like I said too, me and you had talked about this before on a couple other videos, that if the American people honestly think that after 2028, when Trump is finally out of office and can't run anymore, that things are going to go back the way they were in the before 2016, they're badly mistaken, because now the toothpaste is out of the bottle. These people that are out of the tube.
Where'd you get toothpaste in a bottle? I don't know. Where'd you buy that, Walker? Sorry,
but
correct you there.
But the toothpaste is out of the tube. The Democrats are not going to go back to the old ways. They've had the squad come out with all of their ridiculous crap. They, the ridiculous crap that the Democrats have pulled. Do you honestly think they're going to say, okay, now Trump's done, we're going back to normal,
back the way we were?
Yeah, there's no way. And especially if a Republican gets, if J.D. Vance or Rubio gets elected president in 2028, it's going to stay the same, folks, no matter what. And then the radical Democrats, like the squad and people like that, if a Democrat gets elected, they're going to try to bully their way like they did with Joe Biden. And half the time they did. They did a good job bullying Joe Biden.
Well, that was easy.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Let's face it.
Yeah.
They ran the show. And they hid the deficiencies.
Right.
We found that out at the debate.
Joe Biden pardons over 800 people with questionable, why did you release that guy from prison after all he did? Democrats, crickets. But by God, Trump gets right into office and say all January 6 people are pardoned. Boom, get them out, you're done. Boom. Oh my God! Oh, what the? Oh, Trump thinks he's above the law. And oh, man. And people should know, I mean, the Democrats should say, let's call a spade a spade. And they don't do that anymore.
We got one who does that.
Yeah. And he was the one that everybody's like, what the hell is he doing in office?
Yep.
And that's Fetterman.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who I was talking about.
Yes.
That's the only guy who, thinks with a level head.
When he was elected, it was like, people of Pennsylvania, the man is medically cannot run for office. He's, stroke bound and all of this stuff. Why in the hell would you elect that guy? And now he is makes the most sense. Makes the most sense out of all of them. But,
yeah.
But that's the way it works,
Well, the midterms are coming.
Yeah.
And that's what the Democrats are kind of, betting on.
Right.
And then, like you said, once Democrats are in control, what happens next, Tom?
Yeah. Impeach. Impeach. Let's impeach
We're
him.
going to impeach the
That's
president
all
again.
you're going to do. Yeah. We're going to impeach him for closing the border like he did. He shouldn't have that border that tight. It should not be closed that tight. No way should that border be closed that tight, especially when Mayorkas said that it was closed and they still coming in. Look at how Mayorkas closed that border. He had it closed tight, secure. And by
He
God,
told you.
he told
With
you.
a straight
Sat
face,
right there
almost
on
with a straight
television and
face.
told you that it was closed. And don't come, you children, don't come. Not until we get. Not until
We're
get
working
your.
on getting this all
We
straightened
get your
out.
facilities built, then you can come. It's a dangerous trip. Don't come until we get your facilities built. But yeah, it's nuts. I'm telling you, folks. But we just thought we'd go over.
We talk about who's above the law,
who's above the law, and all of them will tell you 535, maybe a little more, in Washington D.C. because but the Virgin Islands has a representative, and why I don't know, but they have a representative in Washington D.C.
Yeah.
So they all tell you, all 500 plus will tell you that no one is above the law. But and just what I just hope to, because that's the thing. After 2028, all you're going to hear is like you heard after 2020. Trump is being indicted. This judge says that he was wrongly done this, and it's just going. That's all you're going to hear, especially if it's a Democrat that won the White House. Because we don't want. Well, wait a minute. Now the border was closed. Now all of a sudden here's a few thousand coming in. No, don't. No. Look at Trump. Look what Trump did. Let's keep our eye on what Trump broke the law. So, and that's all it's going to be. That's all. Just like in 2020 when they allowed the border to be open, they were hoping that all of those indictments, 51 indictments or something like that, just think about that. You elected a felon to the White House. That's all Democrats. You elected a felon. He's a felon.
That's okay. The Democrats elected Marion Barry,
Yeah.
mayor of Washington, D.C., I believe. And he was caught on film, I think, doing cocaine or something.
Yeah, buying it or something.
Yeah.
I think he was buying it from
Well,
an undercover FBI agent. Yeah.
People, they still love Bill.
Yeah, but that's Barry. He was a black man. That ain't the same as Trump being a white privileged man.
Do you think we're going to talk about Trump after 20?
Oh God, dogs. Yeah.
Oh, come
like
on.
I said,
Really, I'm tired.
like I said, you're going to hear nothing but Trump if the Democrats get in
If
office.
they get in office.
If they get in office, it's going to be, like I said, don't worry about all the people coming back across the border because this Democrat's in office. Don't worry about that. Look what Trump did.
Is this
Trump? You all be concerned about Trump breaking the law.
Is this what the disguise is going to be when the Trump Democrats get into office? It's like, we're going to go after Trump. We're running the country this way now, but nobody will notice that.
We don't want them to
We're
notice.
going to go
Right.
chase Trump down, and
Let's chase Trump. There was two things there that they in from 2020 to 2024. There was two objectives there. Number one, let's keep the focus on Trump. When the board, millions and millions are coming across, hey, you shouldn't worry about that. You should worry about the laws that Trump broke. And number two objective was, let's try to get something to stick on Trump so that he cannot run for president.
And they failed.
And they failed.
They failed.
They failed at both of them. Well, they failed and succeeded because they got all of the people in which the people, the American people, should ask themselves, how did it become that if you made it across the border, that you still get, and you're here illegally, you still get to count as an American citizen to be for how many representatives they get in?
Oh, yeah, in your state.
In the state. How does that all? They're here illegally, but now they can be legally counted. Explain that oxymoron to me. They're here illegally, but yeah, they can be legally counted to give you more districts or more representatives. And you what? How? Wait, what?
Well, that was the whole idea of getting them here, though. You gotta remember
that's
that.
exactly
why
what
we got them here. So
and now let's stop them from taking them.
Yes.
They can't take them out. They got to stay so that the midterms are coming up and we can get more people in here.
We need them votes.
That's why when you listen to, just the last show that we did with Tim Walz, and yes, I think the Somalis are a good fit for they are a good fit for Minnesota. Yes, I think they're productive. 83% of them live off of welfare. Yes, I think they're productive. In the state of Minnesota, yes, they're productive.
And they say it with a straight face.
And say it with a straight face.
Imagine they get behind doors, and
yes,
just you would hope somebody goes up to them and go, "Did you hear what you just said?"
Yes. Yeah. How productive is 83% of them living off of American citizens that has to pay taxes to afford to support them? Oh, yes, they're productive in our community. They are productive in Minnesota. But people, it just all they're doing, and it's working. It is working. They're just dumbing down everybody in America as far as politics goes. Don't hold us accountable for shit. You're not going to. Don't try to come after us for breaking the law. It's not going to happen. Don't do any of that. We are, and it's working. They have succeeded in making politics in America so stupid and untouchable. Can't touch anybody in politics. Now we can go after the little guy. We can do that, but no coming after us. Cause why? Because of the theme of the show. I'm above the law. I'm above the law. I can break immigration laws because I'm above the law. I want them here. And how pissed they got at the governor of Texas, Abbott.
Yeah.
They got pissed at him. Well, wait. What do you mean you're busing them up and sending them up here to Chicago? You can't do that. What the hell? What do you mean? And then come to find out the damn Joe Biden was flying them in. Flying illegals into certain destinations. And Joe's above the law. There's nothing here. See,
till they went to Martha's Vineyard.
Oh yeah, well, when they were bust up there, here, let's see how
I think they called the
Obama's
National
like.
Guard out to get them out. To get them out.
But now,
Amazing.
but none of those guys were racist. None of them Martha Venue residents were racist.
Yeah.
No. Hey, we love our immigrants, but you got to go. we love
We
our,
want them. We want them here,
but not here.
we're not here. We just,
We like you guys. We think you all got rights. We love our immigrants, but not here. But not here. They ain't staying here. And yet the Democrats didn't flip out. You're racist. Never bulged their veins out in their head because the people of Martha Vineyard got rid of all of the legal immigrants. Got rid of all of them, busted them up and took them right back out after the Abbott brought them in on buses.
Except the ones probably cleaning their houses and doing their landscaping. I'm just betting. Okay,
Yeah.
but they probably already had those.
Yeah.
I've been around long enough to see that.
Yes. Yeah, they already had that. Too many of you to be here to mop my floors. I got enough gardeners. Thanks.
Boy,
Yeah.
it'd be so funny if it wasn't true.
It wasn't
That's
true.
the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
And that how they do it. The Democrats and the fact that you cannot do anything, because then you're racist.
They're going to get back in control someday.
Oh yeah,
They are. I mean, that just happens. The flow of politics. You know how this goes.
yeah.
I don't
Going to
know
be
what'll happen.
surprising in this year.
Yeah.
In December.
They're
or
going to.
November.
They do win the midterms. They're going to have a.
Oh,
They're going to be so damn excited, and they're going to say the country's changing, and by God, in 28, we're going to take over the White House, and we're going to go back to democratic ways of running the country. I hope you liked it.
well, the one good thing as far as being a Republican that we can look at least Crockett and Al ain't going to have a damn thing to do with it.
That is the best entertainment I see every week when they're on there talking. Oh, especially Jazzy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't get enough of her. She and AOC are a pair. They could run a comedy show together and just have to listen to them talk. Oh
Yeah. And that's the thing. Now, like I said, it was the redistricting that did Jazz
Mm-hmm.
and Al. That's what done them in, because Al was from Texas also.
Al Green,
Yeah.
not the singer.
Not the singer.
Not the singer.
He's
Okay.
dead anyway.
Oh, it's-
Yeah. But yeah, that's what did them in, was the redistricting down there. And of course, her not getting reelected was for the Senate was racist. It's all racist. Y'all ain't ready. But the white guy that they elected, my God, you talking about an idiot.
Yeah.
Now that I think he's going to be, he's the type of guy that says, Jasmine, hold my beer. Let me show you.
He's special.
You can.
I mean, he doesn't have the charisma that she has, but I mean, he's got some way out there ideas about life and this
God.
and that, and Texans only had a couple choices there, Tom. I guess you got to go. I don't know. It's kind of the country's kind of scary.
Yeah.
It's out there. Woo.
It's crazy, but all right. Well, enough about this. I think that you get our point that no one's above the law, but then we've showed a few here that they are. We know that Joe Biden, Mayorkas, Garland, the border czar,
is that Kamala?
Kamala. Yeah, they're all above the law. The January 6th committee, all them people are above the law. Nothing happened to them. You know, states, the blue states that say, fuck you and your immigration law. We're going to do what we want. You know, those guys are above the law. There's a lot of people out there. And it isn't all people in high places. Like I say, he was, you know, I mean, that, and if you just stop and think about it, the Democrats, you guys, I know it hurts, but you can think about this too. That why was he going around saying, even Cameron, even on video, saying all of this stuff? Go do this. Go storm the doors. Break the glass. Do and yet, whenever it come time for arresting, old Mr. Epps was nowhere to be found. Not after him. Well, why? Was he an agent? We don't talk about that. Yeah,
I can't tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, why is he, you know, and there he is. So I mean, even the Democrats will look at that and say, well, yeah, that is a question. Why wasn't he? But there wouldn't be no question if, wait a minute, he voted for Trump? Oh, fuck that. His ass would have been in jail now.
Yes, he would.
Yeah. So you know he wasn't a real Trump supporter.
Yeah, for sure of that.
Yeah. So, but, well, all right, everybody. We will let you go, and we will talk to everybody later. Please subscribe, do all of the good stuff, and we will talk to you later. Bye, everybody.
They say I'm a confident